Hello from Safonovo. This is a podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about entrepreneurship theory and let's start with the definition.
A lot of people they want to make their life better, but they are looking for a job, for a salary, and this is very big mistake. Much better to make something which has name undertake. Undertake is to create something, to create company, to create union, to create production. And entrepreneurship theory it's how to become an owner of resources, how to make decision what to do, what produce, how to serve people, how to hire people, how to understand what your customer want, and how to be very resourceful and service friendly. It is not easy when you see someone is doing, for example, canteen or maybe barber shop. You will come and you'll see, okay, there is some errors in interior design. Okay, there is some phrases which are not cultural enough. Okay, this was not so convenient as I like. Okay, maybe light windows, maybe doors, maybe some other. I could do better. And it's like to go in to someone like a guest. Each woman, when she see any flat, will say, "Okay, I would remake like 5%, and this flat will become much better." But each host already done this job, and if you are entrepreneur, you will look at others people business not about interior design, but you will see how people smile, how they go, how they clean their hands or tools, how they provide I don't know, even glass of water. It is much more important because everything could be fixed except of culture. And entrepreneurship theory, it's how to read mind of your customers, how to know what is thinking of your employees.
And when you're actually thinking about like whether I want to, like learn the theory and put it into the practice, probably no one will tell you like when it's good time, like to start your business because probably it's already was like, I don't know, like 1 century ago or something like that. So if, like you are contemplating whether, like step there or not, what kind of things you should consider? Of course, you should start with yourself, but it's also should be, like your industry, your position, etc. But yes, I do believe you should start with yourself. So what kind of questions or what kind of state of life or mind you should have in order to at least, like do the beginning?
I hopefully you will believe, but like 8 or 10 years, 10 hours ago, we were talking with one pupil of the school of troubleshooter. By the way, we were mentioning especially you, and I told him to this pupil, okay, if you want to start a business, you should create a short summary of your business plan. And first, which services could you provide? And you should write services like 10, and then you should give like pros and cons, why people would ask you to do this job for the money. And second row, what you will offer which will distinct you from other people. Maybe you will give a smile, maybe you will give some higher service, maybe your source, I don't know how to say, сырье.
Sources, resources, raw.
Maybe your sources is more qualified or more pure. Second, you should build second row. You should build a cash flow. It's very simple, plain table. What is your profit? What is your losses? And you should put everything. And it is not easy. You should think very careful because, for example, sometime when I do business plan, I write like 12,000 lines because everything, even bribes should be put there and also taxes and so on. And third, you should think, okay, which kind of team do I need? What would I do like myself? For example, I am mix cutter. It's okay to say mix cutter, мясорубка.
I would say like, yeah, mid cutter.
Okay, mid cutter, okay. And second person should be like a bread bakery machine, and another one would be like a dishwashing machine, and another would be like a taxi driver or courier. And you should be very attentive. You hire people and you hire tools to do their jobs, and these jobs which should be done. It is has a limit for the time. It has limit for the price, and it is also has some boundaries of the service. For example, if I will give you coffee after, I don't know, 2 hours, it would be cold and would be unpleasant. But if I would give you very hot coffee, and at this point I would give it without cap on the glass, and some drops would fall on your jeans, you wouldn't be happy. So you should be very attentive how to do this. You know, I don't know if you see this, but for example, on the lectures, it's a very strong routine how to do these lectures, and it was developed I don't know, after, in summary, like 20 years. And it is not easy to be improved, because if you would change presentation, if you would change your voice, if you would change quality of your video, nothing will happen. A lot of people do not need quality of your micro, quality of your webcam, or they just need information to be poured, to be like a juice, to easy to drink. But if you will give information and it would be very hard to swallow, okay, you would spend time, people would throw their money, but nothing would happen. So you should also, with knowledge, mix some happiness.
And when we're actually trying to make people happy, there's a one thing, probably it could be, like pain that they have, and we just want to provide certain relief, or we just want to provide the joy. Sometimes maybe the market might be not enough. Maybe, like our thing that we thought might look good on the paper, look good as the, I don't know, as some sort of like a prototype. But there is also might be the cases when at certain point of time we realize that our, I would say, like a restaurant or anything else is like empty. Everything is good, everything works, but no one is there. So will it be possible to think about this in advance? Because, like, as you rightfully said, there might be so many conditions, there are so many things that we need to consider, there are so many paths that we need to mentally go to. But how to actually make sure that we solve the right problem, and how to sure that, like the moment we see it's not going our way, we actually could reverse and maybe, like try something else.
You know, it is very sad to say, but there is no balance between quality and quantity. You should choose. You should pick one. You know, we with my wife, we were like 4 or 5 years ago in a fancy restaurant in Moscow with very nice view on the Moscow River, and also huge hotel which is lightening up to the sky. Everything was good, but food was quite average, very expensive, but quite average. And suddenly waiter approached and said, "Okay, would you like to eat Napoleon cake?" It's okay to say Napoleon, or Napoleon cake is better. Napoleon cake. Okay, thank you. And we refused with my wife because we are not happy with price and with quality. But suddenly he, I don't know, managed to bend himself, нагнуться.
Band, yeah.
He bent himself, and suddenly he pronounced, this Napoleon cake was made by a grandma of the owner of this restaurant, and she makes just 100 pieces per day, and it is not many left. If you want, I would give you a small piece just to test, because no one refuses after he ever tested this. And yes, it was the best dish we ever had in this restaurant. And after I smile and I look at the window, and a lot of lights and dark sky, and my wife is so happy, and I was thinking, wow, what a beautiful story. I would not compromise the quality by doing just not enough to feed everyone, but enough to maintain the stability.
Well, the story is beautiful indeed. And the one thing that you mentioned is also a culture of like, like servicing people and maybe even telling the story through the surface. So what kind of ingredients it takes? Because what I kind of realized that, like in a different countries, when you go over the places, there are more or less the same stuff, but at certain point of time, you actually can see, like things that you never thought of, but it's actually, they could be done, like better at certain areas. So how to embed all of these things and like make sure that your service not really bulletproof, but at least like customers leaving happy and telling the stories about your place.
This should be entrepreneurship with a human face. You and some very few students are able to do this, and maybe you will confirm that sometime I give you applause when you're smiling, because it is not easy to man to smile, because we are Russians and Slavic
Slavic, yes.
Slavic people are not generous for the for a smile, but to be in service you should smile. And for me it was very hard rebuilding. While I was in Germany, I was taught how to be smile, and it is very huge psychological work was done with me. It was not a brainwashing, but it was quite tough talks. If you will not smile, you will not go to the higher clients, because you are just looking like a plumber. Okay, maybe you handcrafted, руками могу работать, handcrafted.
Good with your hands, have a golden hands.
Okay, maybe you have a golden hands, but without smile, you worth nothing. And for me, it was quite hard. And when I was working in Alpha Capital, it's investment company, I was not the best. Maybe I was the worst by talking about, know how to say, ценные бумаги.
Stock papers.
Stock paper, thank you. But I was smiling, and suddenly I was going up and up, just about smile. That's first. Second, sometimes you should talk with people about not pleasant things. And for example, I own several expensive cars, and sometimes when everything seems to be okay, suddenly I have a call from my, I know how to say, technician.
Technician or mechanic.
Mechanic, yes, correct. Mechanic, and suddenly he would tell, okay, we should change something. And first thinking, okay, maybe you want to have some money for this, and maybe it is not so bad. But you know, all of this, I don't know how to say, repair garage, I don't know how to say.
Just a garage.
Repair shop?
Yeah.
Repair shop or garage?
Workshop.
Yes, workshop, yes, correct. They often put in the багажник, bonnet, not bonnet.
Luggage or trunk.
Luggage. Trunk, they will put old parts, and you will see, okay, it's definitely broken, it's definitely already have been in use. And the same, for example, with our dentistry. When I go into the doctor, I do not want to hear that I have problem with my tooth. I would like to say, okay, you have beautiful hygiene and everything is okay. But a doctor should say, okay, you have some, I don't know how to say, plug. You have plug, and we should do something with this. At this point, you will not like this doctor because he brings you very sad news. But some doctors could do it in a light way. Something, okay, do not worry. Okay, we are happy to find this so early. We will cure it, and everything would be fixed in, I don't know, like 30 minutes. And at this point, you could relax and say, okay, yes, okay, I am in very golden hands, so everything would go okay. So first, you should be confident about that you could help people, and you should never think about people like about wallets.
Well, we actually touched the thing that I could consider like it could be like abstract package of the thing, whether it's like service, whether it's, you know, like real physical things. And then my last question will be how knowing about entrepreneurial theory could help to make this world a better place.
Very often I have a request for consultancy, and people pay a lot of money. And even today I was spent two times for 30 minutes, and people pay me a lot of money, but for nothing. They just want to find a job. And I ask them, okay, if you're so qualified as you're talking, could we make a business? For example, I will give you some money, I will give you some space, even I could give you some clients. Are you ready to do this? And today two people, one from Kazakhstan and one from St. Petersburg, they refused. One girl and one boy. They say, no, I'm looking for a salary. I'm looking for position. And I was saying, okay, but you spend so many time. Like this girl was saying, okay, I have a credit. I have a son. My husband left me and I have nothing to eat. And I told, okay, we could start in St. Petersburg. I have several partners, and they could start business with you, or you could join them for small part of the business. But you're always saying, okay, I could be like financial director, I could be bookkeeper, but I don't want to be entrepreneur. And ask you why? Because I want to sleep at night and not to be worried about. And you know, it's very strange. You have credit, you have no husband, you have a kid to feed, and you are refusing to do business. Why? Because, okay, it's very dangerous. Yes, okay, it's maybe not stable. The same was with a guy from Kazakhstan,
Led probably.
led from Kazakhstan, and also he was saying, okay, I want to be a deputy of the mayor, and nothing less. And I was saying, yes, but what you will do? And he will say, okay, I will control all his orders. But this is not a job. If you are able to do this, maybe you will go to construction firm. I have my client, and he is looking for guys. But you will be responsible for a team of people who are building some. They will do some job. But he say, no, I want to be in close to the mayor or something like this. And it's so strange. People do not want to be occupied by something useful. People want to be paid, and they could sell themselves almost to a demon.
Well, I do believe different intentions leads to different paths, and we reviewed the skill of theory of entrepreneurship and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.